Kasangga sa tama at totoong impormasyon. Kaisa sa revolusyon laban sa kahirapan. Bayambanggen News! Libreng wheelchair ipinamahagi sa mga PWD. Upang makatulong sa mga persons with disabilities ay nagpamahagi ng ilang libreng wheelchair ang Municipal Social Welfare and Development Office sa iba't ibang barangay. Kasama sa distribusyon sina Councilor Martin Tirado II, Councilor Philip Dumalanta, Councilor Amory Junio at Councilor Levinson Nesus Uy. Ang mga nakatanggap ng libreng wheelchair ay ang mga bayabanggenyo na nag-apply para rito. Onion farmers dumalo sa forum ukol sa harabas. Isang scientific forum para sa mga magsasaka na labis nang naapektuhan ng pananalasa ng pesting harabas ang inorganisa ng Municipal Agriculture Office at Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office noong February 9. Sa nasabing forum, tinuruan ng mga eksperto mula sa Regional Crop Pest Management Center ang mga onion farmers ng mga bagong kaalaman upang makaiwas sa mapinsalang peste na sanhi ng pagkalugi. Ang mga magsasaka ay sinamahan ni Mayor Cesar Quiambao, Vice Mayor Raul Sabangan, mga punong barangay at iba pang mga opisyal. SG1 Isolation Facility isinasaayos. Tuloy-tuloy ang pagsasaayos ng MDRRMO sa San Gabriel First Isolation Facility para sa kaligtasan ng mga bayambanggenyo na naka-isolate at mga frontliners na nakadistino roon. Kamakailan lamang ay nagpagawa rito ng isang maayos na guardhouse at isang konkretong nurse station at kasalukuyan ay tinatapos ang pagsesemento sa mga daan. Tax Bill Distribution, tuloy-tuloy. Patuloy ang Municipal Assessor's Office sa tax bill distribution upang ipalaala sa mga kababayan ang kanilang obligasyong magbayad ng tamang amilyar. Nitong nakarang linggo, sila ay nagtungo sa Barangay Tanulong at Barangay Inang Lorenza. ICT Technical Working Group nagpulong. Sa pangunguna ni ICT Officer Ricky Bulalakaw, nagkaroon ng pagpupulong noong February 8 ang ICT Technical Working Group upang pag-usapan ang iba't ibang prioridad na proyekto at programa ng ICT Office para sa bawat sangay ng LGU ngayong taon. Ang paggamit ng ICT solutions katulad ng automated sharing ng mga dokumento sa pagitan ng mga departamento ay makakatulong upang maging mas epektibo at mabilis ang pagbibigay serbisyo ng mga kawani ng lokal na pamahalaan para sa bayambanggenyo. Local Investment Incentives Code at God Code aprobado na. Aprobado na ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan ng Pangasinan ang Local Investment Incentives Code at Local Gender and Development Code ng Bayan ng Bayambang. Ang latest development na ito ay sinulat ni Sangguniang Bayan Secretary Joel Camacho. Ito ay produkto ng mabuting relasyon sa pagitan ng executive at legislative branch ng lokal na pamahalaan ng Bayambang. Kubota Water Pumps tinanggap ng mga magsasaka. Nakatanggap ang Barangay Wawa Farmers Association ng 2 unit ng Kubota Water Pump mula sa Department of Agriculture Region 1. Ayon sa Municipal Agriculture Office, ito ay gagamitin para sa demonstration ng onion farming sa lugar na sa susunod na cropping season. Ang naturang 2 set ng water pump ay nagkakahalaga ng 180,000 pesos. Pre-registration para sa National ID nag-umpisa na. Sa tulong ng Local Civil Registry Office, inumpisahan na ng Philippine Statistics Authority ang pre-registration para sa National ID sa Bayan ng Bayambang. Bukod sa pre-registration activities sa mga barangay, nagpaunlak din ang PSA ng special pre-registration para sa mga kawani ng lokal na pamahalaan matapos makiusap si Mayor Cesar Quiambao. Layunin ng pagkakaroon ng National ID na mas mapabilis ang pag-access ng bawat Pilipino sa mga mahalagang transaksyon ng gobyerno. Ang pagkuha ng ID na ito ay libre para sa lahat. First quarter meeting para sa Barangay VAUDES officers ginanap. Tinipon ng MSWDO ang mga Barangay Violence Against Women or VAUDES officers sa Royal Mall para sa kanilang first quarter meeting. Doon tinalakay ang mga guidelines in the establishment of VAUDES, guidelines in monitoring the functionality of VAUDES in every barangay, at process in handling VAUC cases. Public Order and Safety Office in action. Sa pamumuno ni Poso Chief Retired Colonel Leonardo F. Solomon, muling nagsagawa ang opisina sa pag-inspeksyon ng pamilihang bayan upang matugunan ang iba't ibang concerns sa bayan. Anti-colorum drive. Muling hinalughog ng traffic enforcers ang pamilihang bayan kung saan naglipa ng mga colorum na tricycle na siyang nirereklamo ng mga tricycle driver na may sapat na dokumento. Crackdown on illegal parking. Sa pag-iikot ng mga traffic enforcers ay marami nang nahuli na nakapark sa di tamang parking area, sanhi ng pagkakaroon ng violation alinsunod sa pinapatupad na batas. Campaign against illegal muffler. Muling nakasabat ang mga traffic enforcers ng illegal muffler na siyang ipinagbabawal sa kalsada dahil sa paglikha ng nakakagumbalang ingay na kumukuha ng atensyon ng ibang motorista at kadalasan ay nagiging sanhi ng disgrasya. Road Clearing Task Force nag-dry run. Nagtulong-tulong ang POSO, DILG, PNP, Engineering Office, CSO representative at barangay officials upang magsagawa ng dry run ng Road Clearing Operation Task Force upang malinisan ang mga kalsada na pagmamayari ng gobyerno at ipapatupad ang patakaran ng road clearing sa mga barangay kung saan inalis ang mga nakaharang sa anumang lumalagpas sa 3 metro ng kalsada. Layunin nito gawing maaliwalas ang bayan at gawing ligtas sa mga kalsada sa bawat bayambanggenyo. MSWDO, pinulong ang LGBTQ Association. Noong February 10 ay nangunang MSWDO sa first quarter meeting ng mga miyembro ng LGBTQI Association of Bayambang. Napag-usapan sa pulong ang pagkakaroon ng profiling ng mga miyembro ng asosasyon at mga plano nilang negosyo upang magamit na ang ibinigay na pondong 100,000 mula kay Mayor Kimbao. First quarter meeting ng Juvenile Justice Administration Dialogue inorganisa. Nag-organisa rin ang MSWDO ng first quarter meeting sa mga miyembro ng Juvenile Justice Administration Dialogue. Isa sa mga dumalo ay si Attorney Emmanuel La Forteza, Assistant Provincial Prosecutor ng Department of Justice, San Carlos City, at si Jocelyn Mariano, Team Leader ng Regional Juvenile Justice Welfare Committee sa Region 1. Layunin ng pulong na palakasin ang kolaborasyon tungo sa 5 pillars in protecting the welfare of the children. Repasuhin ang salient features ng RA 9344 at RA 10630 at talakayin ang pag-handle ng mga kaso ng CICL o Children in Conflict with the Law at CAR o Children at Risk. RHU2 Services. Ang RHU2 sa ilalim ni Dr. Edrin Estrada ay nagpamigay ng vitamins at nag-monitor ng timbang at tangkad ng mga malnourished children ng Bayambang. Nag-lecture din ang mga nurse na si Chris De Vera ukol sa rabies, dengue, COVID-19 at iba pang sanitation diseases sa mga barangay. Tuloy-tuloy naman ang pag-inspeksyon ng mga sanitary inspectors sa iba't ibang establishments at businesses sa Bayambang. Dalawa sa inspeksyon ngayong linggo ay ang meat processing ng Ancopville at rice cracker production sa Barangay Sangkagulis. Narito naman ang latest na proyekto ng Engineering Office. Ongoing Core Local Access Road Project in Barangay Inirangan. Ongoing construction of drainage system in Zone 2. Mga Bolbil, aprobado na sa Kongreso. Sa isang House Committee hearing na ginanap via Zoom noong February 10, ang mga Bolbil na isinumite ni Deputy Speaker Rosemary Baby Arena sa Kongreso ay approved in principle matapos ang pagsang-ayon ng lahat ng mga miyembro ng naturang komite. Kinakailangan na lamang na aprubahan din ng Senado ang bill na ito upang maging ganap ng disposable and alienable ang government property na ito at mapamahagi na sa higit 100 magsasaka roon ang mga lupaing matagal na nilang sinasaka.
House Bill number 4088 entitled An Act to Reclassify the Mangabol Reservation in the Municipality of Bayambang, Province of Pangasinan into alienable and disposable land of the public domain for the purpose of redistributing the same to the bona fide and long-term farmers occupants thereof, and for other purposes, introduced by Deputy Speaker Rosemary Arenas.
Good morning, our honorable, our favorite Congressman P.D. Barsaga, our chairman, my hardworking chairman, my dear colleagues. I know you were there in Congress yesterday. I know you list all the everything just to be able to do our job for our constituent. our beloved Mayor, Honorable Mayor Cesar Cambao, DNR family, and other guests. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources, DNR, Field Office 1, cited Republic Act number 6657 or the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law of 1988. It is ironic that DNR invokes this law, which aims to assert the primacy of the rights to assert the primacy of the rights of the farmers over the land they till, because it is precisely DENR's action which has deprived these farmers a chance to own the land they have been tilling for decades already. Siguro po ilang hundred years na. In Section 2 of RA Republic Act 6657, the Declaration of Principles clearly states that, and please allow me to read some portions of it. It is the policy of the state to pursue a comprehensive agrarian reform program, CARP. The welfare of the landless farmers and farm workers will receive the highest consideration to promote social justice and to move the nation towards sound rural development and industrialization and the establishment of ownership of economic size farms as the basis of Philippine agriculture. In Section 10, on the provision for exemption and exclusion, it states that lands actually directly and exclusively used and found to be necessary for parks, wildlife, forest reserves, deforestation, fish sanctuaries and breeding grounds, watersheds and mangroves, national defense, school sites and campuses, etc. are exempt. The operative phrase here being lands actually directly and exclusively used and found necessary for the reservation it was intended. Mr. Chairman, the point of the matter is that Mangabao is no longer actually directly exclusively used and found necessary as a forest or fishery reserve. For over 60 years, the forested portion were converted to agricultural cultivation, and the accumulation of silt and lahar from Mount Pinatubo has decreased the fishery into little more than a few shallow creeks during dry season. At present, practically the whole land area has become farmlands and the site of residential houses, where Mangabao area transverses in at least 8 barangays. Mr. Chairman, the situation is irreversible. There is no easy way, not even a legal or moral way, to take these lands away from the farmers. This bill is being proposed as a result of what has become of Mangabao and as a matter of necessary to address the farmers' rights that are supreme in the eyes of the law, such that landless farmers and farm workers will receive the highest consideration. Congress must do its job. We must do our job now, especially in the face of a government agency that refuses to acknowledge the reality that Mangabao has ceased to be a lake or a forest, not only for a few years but for several generations already. Where there is economic and social activity, there should be regulation to protect the rights of stakeholders, including government rights, to prevent or resolve disputes which naturally arises from the nature of these activities. Hence, Mr. Chairman, it is important that the local government be empowered to manage this situation, because organically, government agencies only implement projects, policies, and programs. It is the local government who will be the best administrator. Mr. Chairman, with all due respect, this discussion is not a matter for the DNR to object or to support. I repeat, this is not for the DNR to object or support. They are here to provide the facts. It is up to Congress, to us in Congress, to to evaluate these facts, decide which rules have to be made that will serve the highest goals enshrined in our Constitution. DNR also proposed that the municipality of Bayambang, the occupants of Mangabol and itself formulate a development and management plan, ayun po nagsabi niya, that will enable them to benefit from the use and fruits of the timberland without surrendering more than 2,000 hectares of timberland to provide ownership. This cannot be. First of all, Mr. Chair, there is already an admission here from DNR, no less, that indeed Mangabol is being occupied and utilized outside of the goals of each reservation. Meron po yan sa papel. Secondly, why is the DNR amenable to share the fruits of the land? But not the land. How feudal? Kawawa naman ang mga mahihirap na magsasaka. As a matter of fact, DNR failed in almost a century to carry out a development plan for Mangabol. And for them to engage the local government to collaborate on the development plan at this time is absurd. Mr. Chair, it's absurd. It's not impossible. Because practically, the whole area is already being tilled by farmers for decades. Maawa naman po tayo sa kanila. DNR has already issued, this is very important for my big colleagues and for everybody here present. DNR has already issued 83 patents. You have issued 83 patents to presumably farmers, even if it is not alienable. Even if it's not alienable. This alone is proof that DNR made an arbitrary decision, perhaps owing to the exigencies of Mangabol becoming a farmland. Who then is to stop the DNR from issuing more patents? Mr. Chair, who then is to stop the DNR from issuing more patents? What becomes of this patent if not regulated as an economic activity? DNR claims that the Mangabol area is susceptible to floods, but so are most of the 77 Barangay in Bayambang, or for that matter, the whole Metro Manila. This flooding is due to the excess water from the Amno River, but people, our poor people, have learned to adapt their farming methods and seasons for the sake of harnessing Mangabol for food and livelihood. If not for this farmland, Mr. Chair, Bayambang has already little resources, and to bribe the people of Bayambang, the food and economic security that come from the farmlands of Mangabol is wrong, it's unacceptable, it's very sad. The DNR in its position paper stated that unless these areas are under constant monitoring, there is no assurance that they will be only used for agricultural purposes. Constant monitoring is precisely a function of administration which is not the core competence of DNR. Mr. Chair, I wish to propose that this bill be approved and let us no longer delay the long overdue process of enabling our farmers to own their lands and for the community in Bayambang to be able to prosper, progress, and just as other communities and those with more natural resources are able to do so. Mr. President, Mr. Chair, I'm thinking of all of us here present to look at the lives of the people now, especially at this time of the pandemic. Please, Mr. Chair, let us help the poor farmers, especially at this difficult time. Please, DNR, you have to review and read all of this. Mr. Chairman, you have been a local official yourself, and you know that we need to empower our local governments because they are the frontliners. We are the frontliners because they are first responders and main artery in the delivery of basic services. Mr. Chair, tulungan po natin ang ating mga kawawang mga farmers. Nakikiusap po ako sa inyo, lalong-lalo na sa panahon na ngayon. Let us think all of this and consider and be Christian and accept the facts that we are reading today. Marami pong salamat, Mr. Chair. Marami pong salamat, everybody present. Marami
So,
pong salamat, my dear colleagues. Let us approve in principles. Marami pong salamat. God bless us all.
I'll ask the question to Mayor Kiambao. Ano ba ang status or actual condition ng 2,086 hectares right now?
Your Honor, yung mga na-issue na pong patents, may mga bahay-bahay na po yun. So, which was supposed to be part of the timberland. And based on our records sa Assessor's Office, yung na-issue na included within the timberland area is 66 hectares po yun. So, in our survey, konting-konti lang ang diferensya. Kung alisin natin yung 66, more or less 5 hectares lang po ang diferensya namin with DNR. So, alam naman po natin na pag nag-survey tayo, hindi ho eksaktong magtatama yung resulta ng survey. Yung unang survey, pangalawang survey, sigurado po may diferensya po yan, konti. So, based on the technical description of the DNR, 2,086 hectares, yung amin is 2,148. Alisin nyo yung 66 hectares na i-exclude because these are already patented. Based on our record sa mga tax declaration po ng mga tao, tumatama po tayo. Konti na lang po diferensya. So, on this regard, Your Honor, I think we can accept the technical description presented by DNR. Maraming salamat po.
Parang narinig ko rin kanina kay attorney na ang difference is 500 hectares sa survey ng LGU as compared sa DNR. Could you clarify this point,
Sa
attorney?
sinurvey po namin, there are two parcels. Parcel land is around 433 hectares. Yung parcel 2, which is close to the area identified by DNR, is 2,148. Pero sabi ko nga, sa 2,148, mayroon 66 hectares na patented na po. So, in short, if you declare and accept the area of 2,086, almost pareho lang po ang resulta ng findings
What
namin.
about the 433 hectares? What would be its status? Yung sabi mo, number 1.
Actually, depende po kung pwedeng isama sa declaration na alienable disposable kasi this is also
Sa moment,
but
ito ba kasama si bill ni Deputy Speaker Arenas itong 423?
hindi po kasama, Your Honor.
Pag hindi kasama, don't make the bill too complicated. Kung ano lamang ang nasa bill, yun lamang ang pag-uusapan natin. So,
Yes
in
po.
so far as LGU is concerned, acceptable sa inyo yung technical description ng DNR.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, considering that the technical description of the DNR is acceptable to the LGU, I think the proper procedure on the part of this committee is to adopt the technical description of the DNR. Is the lawyer, attorney, Crisaldi Barcelo confirms that? Kaya susundin na yung technical description ng DNR.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What about the Deputy Speaker Arenas? After hearing your mayor na pumapayag sa technical description ng DNR and after hearing the points raised by Kong Plaza, are you amenable to the technical description made by the DNR, which was also confirmed by the mayor of Bayambang?
Mr. Chair, I abide with the description of my LGUs.
Okay. So, with that, is there any motion to approve House Bill number 4088?
Mr. Chair, if I may, I move for a motion that House Bill number 4088 be approved on the committee level to be discussed on the plenary for third reading.
Is there any objection?
I second the motion, Mr. Chair.
There being motion to approve House Bill number 4088, and considering that there was no objection, the same is hereby approved in our committee. The COMSEC is hereby directed to immediately prepare the committee report and forward it to the Rules Committee. Thank you very much to all of you, and to DS Arenas and to Mayor Yambao insofar as House Bill number 4088 is concerned.
Kasangga sa tama at totoong impormasyon. Kaisa sa revolusyon laban sa kahirapan. Bayambang Gen News.